heard about it for a long time. And finally, it's here.
But it's only right here in the Midwest.
Welcome to the Midwest Tour.
Hello everyone, welcome to MXPTV. I'm Tom Bradley.
And I'm Brittany Newman, and we're here to tell you all about the Midwest Tour.
That's right, we've got some great racing action coming to you from all over the Midwest. Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Indiana, and we're also hoping to reach racers in Michigan and Wisconsin as well, so you can not only check out the action online, but also participate yourselves.
It's a really great opportunity to take advantage of. And this weekend we were at Lincoln Trail Motosports, and Tom, it was a great 3 days of racing at Lincoln Trail.
That's right, it was, Brittany. And we got to talk about some of the new vendors they had there. They had some new food vendors. They had some trackside vendors to help out the riders with trackside support. And I got to tell you, the food vendors, they had the most delicious cheese fries. I just couldn't get enough of them.
I know, I saw you doing a couple of those.
Yeah, I had to get at least 2 or 3 orders throughout the weekend, kind of get my fill,
And like you said, Mum's Cycles, they were there providing trackside support for all the racers there, so they were really taken care of on the deal.
That's right. They've got some great deals there. You can win some dealer dollars and go spend them over at Mum's Cycles on the trackside there. And, it's just all kinds of great things happening at Lincoln Trail Motorsports this year.
Saturday night, it was actually the first time they ever held a night race at Lincoln Trail, and it was really great out there. The track layout, it was different than what it normally is. It's more technical than a normal kind of track. It's kind of your fair race kind of style, real tight and technical. You have to be committed going over the jumps. And Tom, you actually raced on Saturday night. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it was very tight, like you said, Brittany. They used the actual starting gate from the big track, and they just shortened the start straight about halfway down. You made a tight left-hand turn and then went into the first jump sections. You had a tabletop into a bull turn, come back over a little step-down triple jump, left-hand 90 into an on-off section, and then kind of a left-hand off-camber corner. It was very, very tricky because just when you thought it was going to stop turning, it kept going.
Yeah.
So it kind of threw the riders off a little bit, and then you had a little double into a right-hand into a whoop section. It was very technical right there. You really had to have your timing on, otherwise you were going to get past pretty easy right there. And after the whoops, up and over a camelback, onto the part of the motocross track for just a little bit. And they got in a couple of 180 hairpin corners, right and left and back. And then a little triple jump on the track before it wraps around and into an S-turn section and back over the finish line.
Definitely a great layout that they had there. The turnout was really good for Lincoln Trail, and there was a lot of great racing out there. Now we have the schoolboy class taking off the gate. They're always a fun class to watch, and we have a great lead jumping off right there. That's
right. We've got Keys Carver on the 629 on the Honda, and the 177, that is Joseph Allmiller. These guys have a great battle, all moto. And right off the bat, you see Carver trying inside, outside, everything he can to try to get around the 177 of Allmiller.
Yeah, it's really hard to make passes on this type of track. You kind of really have to go for it. They're going into the loops right now. You can see Keeves kind of doing a different line than Allmiller did in that section.
That's right. And like you said, the racing on this track is nice and tight. Carver trying a different inside line there, getting just a little out of shape. Able to make the time back up, though, right here on Allmiller as he comes inside and takes them both down.
Yeah, came in just a little bit too aggressive throughout that section, but, they're both up and going again, and then I believe Keeves gets going right there.
Yeah, Keys takes over the lead from there, and he's going to take the moto win. Allmiller just couldn't quite get caught up to him by the finish line, so it's going to be Keys taking the moto victory with Allmiller in second.
Next up, we had the 65 senior class going on, and Drake Belluley, he was definitely one to watch.
Oh, that's right. He was smoking the 65 senior class. You can see him pulling away to a huge lead here as he takes the white flag. One more lap to go.
Then the Super Mini to a great start. Battle for second right here, Tom.
That's right. We've got Gage Noblet on the 418. He's trying to get around the 328 of David McLean. Way out in front is Keys Carver. He is long gone on the 629, but these guys had a long, hard battle for second here in the second moto.
Yeah, those little guys having some trouble through the loops there a little bit, but they're powering through it, and they're going into that section right there. You can see the battle kind of continuing on throughout that section.
Yeah, as they come to the finish line here, you see McLean open up just a little bit of breathing room here as they get to the finish line section.
And B class, it was coming up next in the order, Tom, and that's really a class you need to watch. They're just a step away from being A riders, And you know, they've really made the advancements throughout all the other classes.
That's right. These guys are still going very fast around the track. A lot of them have great technique. Sometimes you still get the guys that are a little bit squirrely, you know, still coming out of the C class. They got a little bit of that wild side, but for the most part, a lot more controlled and still some very great action.
Yeah, and we had some great riders at Lincoln Trail today. B class got off to a great start out there. Great riders out there.
That's right. We had a great battle right off the bat. You know, it's close racing with Trey Clark and Derek Rice getting the whole shot. Cole Sessingood getting in the mix up in third there. He's trying to work his way around these guys. And just a great battle all the way through the moto.
Yeah, you can see him going 3 wide right there on your screen. And of course, they're just holding strong through it, not giving up any edges on anything.
That's right. As they work their way through the whoops here, up over the camelback, keeping that racing nice and tight. And you got Derek Rice here going on to take the win. But as they come to the finish line, that's a really tight race.
Yeah, definitely one to always keep watching throughout the next couple of races coming up.
That's for sure, definitely.
Action didn't stop there. Next we had the Open A class, and we had 3 fast riders in there. And this class ended up causing a little controversy.
That's right. Right off the bat, the action was close, it was tight, and you know, we had Dalton Forster, we had Mitch Coble, we had Alex Burster, all these guys very fast on this tight technical track, keeping it very close. Nobody really pulled away from anybody. As you'll see here in the highlight, as they hit the first turn, it was actually Alex Burster getting the whole shot there on the Honda, Dalton on the inside in second, and Mitch trying to sweep around the outside in third as they hit the first triple jump.
Yeah, and they're still battling really good right there. You still have Alex Brewster out in front. Dalton, he actually moved up to second there for a little bit. They're coming into the loop section. Brewster kind of coming out a little bit. Dalton kind of taking a different line through the loops.
That's right. Mitch picking up just a little bit of time through that section as they head over the camelback. And now here they are in the left-hand 180 corner right before the finish line section. You know, like I said, the action is really tight here as they come around this Saturday night track here at LTM.
And things are going to get crazy pretty shortly. This is what happened.
As this crash through the whoops right here, you got Mitch and Alex Brewster getting together here in the whoops, and actually a little fighting here on the track, trying to argue, you know, whose fault it was. But in the end, it really didn't matter. Dalton Forster was able to ride off with the win.
That's right. Dalton was the smart person in this race, rode his own race, stayed patient, and he ended up with the win.
That's right. That's a look at the race highlights from Saturday night, Memorial Day weekend at Lincoln Trail Motosports. Overall, I think a really good job for their first attempt at a night race up there. You know, they were able to incorporate some of the motocross track to get up a little bit more speed. They had some tight technical stuff like you see on a fair race or arena cross track. So overall, I think the riders were pretty happy.
Yeah, from what I heard from everybody, they seemed really happy. I know there was a lot of questions coming into this weekend how Lincoln Trail was going to do at a night track, but really it worked out pretty well, and there's a few improvements that they do need to make, but overall, pretty good job.
And don't forget to check out Lincoln Trail's website for the upcoming night races they have in the future.
That's right, Tom. And of course, we'll have more Sunday highlights coming up for you on the next show, so stay tuned for it.